right, everyone, it's another Wayside Furniture Blind & Sons, a Studio C session here at the Summit. I'm Chad Miller, and very excited to have this room full of Summit members here for the greatness that is singer-songwriter Kathleen Edwards, all the way from our neighbors to the north in Canada, from Ottawa, I do believe, originally, right?
Yes.
Yes. Kathleen Edwards here joining us, touring behind her new album, Billionaire, which is out now on Dual Tone Records, and in concert tomorrow, October 22nd, 2025, at the Kent Stage in Kent. Making a return appearance there, I do believe. You played there in the past, right?
Should I say how many years ago?
That's up to you.
I've had a lot of work done since.
You're among friends.
Time has stood still. 13 years.
Wow. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We have someone up here on stage. Would you introduce this gentleman to your left?
I am accompanied by my very good friend, Matt Susich, everybody.
There you go. Kathleen Edwards here, a much anticipated Studio C session for our Summit members. Why don't we start with a song? What do you have for us first?
I think we're going to play the first song that came out for this new record. It's called Save Your Soul.
Yeah. That's a great one. Loving that song here at the Summit FM. Kathleen Edwards and Save Your Soul, her latest, joining us here for a Wayside Furniture Blendon Sun Studio C session for Summit members. Touring behind the new album Billionaire, again out now on Dual Tone Records. Looking forward to the show tomorrow night, October 22nd, at the Kent Stage in nearby Kent, Ohio. Kathleen, as mentioned, this new album Billionaire is out now. Your first in 5 years, and I know that word billionaire is a rather controversial word these days. What does that word mean to you in this context?
Well, in the music business, nothing. Maybe there's two of them out there, Beyonce and Taylor. Good for them.
Yeah.
I named the record Billionaire because it's a song on the record, and there's two parts to that answer. One is that it's about a person who I lost, who I wrote a song about and titled the record after, who was this incredible young woman that came into my life during the time that I quit music. And she walked in the door of my coffee shop and went from a young woman who didn't know anything about coffee, and the first thing she admitted to me was that she actually didn't like it, to the person who ended up working for me and running the whole business. She was this bright star, and very sadly, very tragically, she passed away a few years ago from a brain aneurysm, and there was nothing that could have been done, and it was just a tragedy of epic proportion, frankly. And so I wrote the line about how if the feeling were currency, I would be a billionaire. And I also, provocatively think, that in this world there are a lot of people who try and stay really productive and make something for themselves, and really the byproduct of that is, and Taylor Swift being a perfect example, everyone sure did love it when she gave all the truckers who worked for her touring crew $100,000.
Right.
And that's what success and capitalism is capable of doing, which is a trickle-down effect. And I'm a big believer in that sentiment. And never more have I been a believer of that since I opened my own business in my coffee shop.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that too. You did step away from music for quite some time, and yes, you opened your coffee shop. It's called Quitters Coffee. It's an excellent name. I know that that was sort of what you did and all that in between time. And a few years ago when you released your previous record, I remember seeing online that you did your album release show there.
I did,
yeah,
because you couldn't go anywhere and you
right.
couldn't play anywhere, and
right.
It just so happened I had a coffee shop that nobody was allowed to come into, and a record that I couldn't tour. I was like, let's see how these two worlds collide.
Yeah. Well, in opening that coffee shop, Quitters, if you would, explain that name, and what did you learn from that whole experience as a independent business, a self-run business like that?
Well, the truth is, I had put out 4 albums in the music world, and I never wanted to do anything else. And when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, I would take the bus to the downtown area of my town, and I would busk on the street, and I would play cover songs, and then I started writing my own songs, and then I started demoing my own songs, and that led into this incredible thing where, like, the first day my record came out, my proper first album came out in the United States, I played on David Letterman. It was an extraordinary thing, and that ended up being 4 albums and a record company and touring. And the downside of that was that my life became very focused on what felt like a singular thing, and I didn't have a great amount of time away from it to have some perspective, A, and B, I'm a very sensitive person, and I write a lot of very sad or sort of reflective of my own experiences songs, and to stand on stage for 12 years and sing songs that come from my heart really takes a toll. And so I really was burned out and moved back to Ottawa and thought I had quit music forever and opened a coffee shop, and it was born of touring relentlessly. That was really, really hard, and thankfully, the coffee shop gave me a whole new chapter of my life where I I cleaned the toilets and I hired young people and I got to pay it forward because that was sort of how I started out too. Before I did music full time, I was in the hospitality business, and it was a very meaningful chapter of my life. But it also allowed me to finally appreciate and have some perspective of how special it was that I wrote songs and toured and connected with people. So I was very happy to come back to it. Felt like putting on a nice old pair of jeans that, are just worn in the right places.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a very rewarding thing. And I remember when that came out a few years ago, and that, that this was something that you were doing. I sort of felt that too, that, just a different thing for you to do, and a challenge to take on, and an accomplishment, and to see kind of betting on yourself, on what you're made of in that. And yeah, like you said, you started off as a local musician, like you just said, busking on the streets, and I'm sure you gave a lot of young musicians in the area their chance, and that had to be a full circle rewarding moment, I'm sure, right? I mean,
hugely. And to have a record, my first record, come out in the time since I quit music, there were a lot of challenges for everybody during 2020, but I had spent 2 years making an album, and also my coffee shop up in Canada was forced to close repeatedly, and to have this incredible day where we decided to do a live stream of a record, which very appropriately was named Total Freedom, in a lockdown period, and to play it and be able to still make something of it was kind of, actually, to be honest, when I think back, really one of sort of the pinnacles of feeling proud of something that I built, and the people who made it possible, because I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. All these other people, like the woman who I wrote Billionaire about, she ran the shop that day. It was possible because of her.
Yeah, that's got to be very special indeed. Well, I want to get to that experience here in a little bit, but let's do another song. Kathleen Edwards joining us here for our Summit members for another Wayside Furniture Blended Sun Studio C session. The new album Billionaire is out now on Dual Tone Records. Looking forward to the big concert tomorrow night, October 22nd at the Kent Stage. What song do you have for us next?
Well, it's a good time to remind everybody that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series, which is very exciting for a lot of the people in my band. We're all very excited. Thankfully, we had a night off to watch the game last night.
Yeah.
But this song is, it's called Little Red Ranger, but the working title of this song originally was The Leafs, as in the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs still suck. Thankfully, I didn't write it about baseball. Mexican blanket on the front seat. It's old to you, but it's new to me. Pick me up at the Roosevelt. Windows down and two doors sits you well. Boy grows up in the suit. Mom and Dad sure did love you. A hockey kid begins at the rink. You love the Leafs, even though they stink. And you're driving your little red Ranger all over LA. Someday soon you're gonna call and tell us that you're gonna stay. All weird in a tree if you look away. You miss the chance to see it fly away. You never met a pair of jeans that didn't fit you perfectly. Now you're playing in a band and you sure can drink. Long brown hair, your girl seems so sweet. But you'll always be that boy live radio. Here we go. Driving your little red Ranger all over LA. Someday soon you're gonna call home and tell us that you're gonna stay. A bird in a tree if you look away. You miss a chance to see it far away. Live by the ocean of a beautiful light. The waves still suck at playoff time. I was thinking about the Blue Jays.
Not the Maple Leafs hockey team. Let's hear it for the magic of not live radio also. How about that? Kathleen Edwards.
Mute buttons on that.
Kathleen Edwards joining us for a Wayside Furniture Blind Son Studio C session and on tour in concert tomorrow night at the Kent Stage in Kent, October 22nd, and touring behind that new album Billionaire, which is out now on Dual Tone Records. So that's out now, but you got to work with Jason Isbell in producing this album, but I understand that that was sort of a brief encounter. How did all that come together, actually?
Gosh, well, I had opened some shows for Jason in 2022-ish, and before I started making this new record, I didn't really have a plan for it, and someone suggested that I do a recording with a series of cover songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think initially somebody who had proposed that was thinking like I would cover, I don't know, a Zach Bryan song and a Casey Musgrave, like something that's sort of big in the genre of Americana right now. And of course, because I'm stubborn and also because I don't really actually know a Zach Bryan song, I covered songs of all my heroes, which are the Flaming Lips and Tom Petty, John Prine, songs that frankly were recorded perfectly the first time, but that I love dearly. And one of the songs I ended up recording was a cover of Jason Isbell's Traveling Alone. And
What album does that appear on, by the way?
I believe it's Southeastern.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
God, you really put me on the spot. What if I got that wrong?
I'm trying to remember it myself, but it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, that album just celebrated its 10th anniversary, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that, yeah, okay.
God, I hope it's that one. And so I had sent it to his manager, Tracy, because I'd known her off and on for years, and she so kindly forwarded it to Jason, and out of the blue I got a message from him saying, I really loved the cover that you did of Traveling Alone. And we were just sort of very casually chatting, DMing, as the kids say. And so he said, what's your plan for your new record? And I said, well, actually, if you have any people in your orbit that you think would be a great producer for me, I would love a suggestion because I'm stumped. And he said, well, when do you want to make it? I was like, well, I'm ready to go now. And he said, how about September? I'll produce it. And then I cried, like ugly cried. And then we booked the studio time. So it was pretty, just a wonderful, natural sort of evolution of my great plan coming together.
Yeah, as one does. Well, and you mentioned this covers EP, and I wanted to talk to you about that. You mentioned some of the artists that you covered, and a wide-ranging selection of songs and artists that you personally love. What led you to want to make that, and what do some of those songs mean to you personally?
Well, one of them is Hello in There by John Prine.
Yeah.
And John, I was so lucky, I actually got to open for John back in about 2005, 2006, which I won't do the math, but it's 20 years ago. And it was, he was one of my heroes. In fact, I would say that That's the Way That the World Goes Round was actually the first song I ever learned at summer camp, and I knew it for years. And I never knew it was a John Prine song. Really? So I just had these songs in my DNA of his before I knew they were his. And then I was supposed to open for him in 2019, and those shows got postponed indefinitely because he had some health problems. So when he passed away in 2020, it was so tragic, but also that song just had new meaning at that time for me, particularly because I ran this coffee shop in which, you know, the number one objective of mine was that the door was open and people were welcome. And Hello in There is about, you know, talking to your neighbors, making sure we don't forget about the elderly. And I felt very strongly when I heard that song for the first time in many years, how true, it was more true today than it ever has been, about making sure that we don't lose our connections with people and how meaningful and important it is for us to have those connections. So I covered Hello in There kind of on principle of honoring him and also honoring the importance of a place like a coffee shop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just curious also, what Flaming Lips song did you cover?
Feeling Yourself Disintegrate from the Soft Bulletin.
Yeah, that's such a perfect record. So in a situation like that, I mean, a wildly different sound, I guess, than one would expect from you, but what drew you to that song? You know, what does it mean to you that much that you decided to cover it and put it on this covers EP?
I think it's a mix between songs that you love and songs that you feel you can make your own.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like I said earlier, all of those songs were done perfectly on the original version. I have no business covering Hello in There, but because I think I felt that tether to that story of my own, I really felt like when I sang it, I was feeling it for myself, not just covering John Prine. So I think that's part of it. I mean, I covered Crawling Back to You by Tom Petty, and it was actually Matt Susich. He started opening shows with me, and we were trying to figure out what song we could do, and we came up with Crawling Back to You, and singing that every night before I recorded it for the covers record was such a wonderful reminder of how that song, Tom Petty's Wildflowers, was probably the most important record of my teenage life. I mean, you know, every teenager, that changes every 2 weeks, but it was a huge record, and Tom is my hero, and so to then think like that song just had a new meaning for me because of Matt. No, and singing it with him is a joy, so yeah. And then, what?
Who did you make the covers record?
Who did I make and I made the covers record with Jim Scott, again, one of my heroes, and he actually engineered and won a Grammy for mixing Tom Petty's Wildflowers.
Well, there you go. Another full circle moment right there.
Thank you.
Kathleen Edwards joining us here for a Wayside Furniture Blind & Son Studio C session, the new full-length album Billionaire, out now on Dual Tone Records, and performing tomorrow night at the Kent Stage in Kent. And for this next song, we're going to go back to the previous album, right?
We're going to go all the way back to 2020. Prepare yourselves. Get your masks on. This is a song called Glenfern. And it's a song about, you know, I was telling you about the coffee shop and getting perspective and having time away from this thing that I had done, that even though there were so many great things like playing on David Letterman and playing in cities I'd never been to, there were also a lot of really challenging things, and was sort of it's a song about realizing that all the hard stuff is actually the stuff that you remember the best, and it's the thing that makes you appreciate when things are going good in your future and in your present. You know? It's called Glenfern. When I go walking in the neighborhood, I wonder how I even got here. It seems so long since those Hamilton days, the first house we bought together. And the online street view used to crack me up. It was you standing in your slippers. We were on the front porch with the Siamese Kevin.
Kathleen Edwards here in a Wayside Furniture Blended Sun Studio C session for so many members here in the room at the Summit FM. That's from the previous record, Total Freedom, released in 2020. I remember that song because I've told you this before. During that pandemic summer of 2020, we're all not sure what's going on and what's happening, and there's a lot of anxiety in the air, and we learn to adjust to it as best we can. And for me, that was just really making a conscious effort to really, listen into more of the current music that was out there. And I did that, and I still do, and just go on walks every day at the nearby park and that sort of thing, and listen to some of those songs on my headphones where you're really, forced to really pay full attention to them. And I remember that song would come up every now and then because, that new album was out at that time. And I'm remembering some of those lyrics now in real time. You mentioned it's a song about gratitude, essentially, for your career, your life up to that point. But then you mentioned in that first set of lyrics, we bought a rock and roll dream, it was total crap. Well, we toured the world and we played on TV. We met some of our heroes that almost killed me. I know it's ups and downs in any career, especially touring being a grind, but what were some of those things that almost killed you, though, just out of curiosity?
Really?
I'm just asking. I'm trying to bring up a dramatic moment, but if you're at liberty to say, I don't know.
Well, I
feel like there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, no, listen, how long is this show? As I said before, I think the cumulative time in which I did this, which was an incredible gift, and I was so lucky, but it also came at a great cost. I remember a woman came up to me when I was home off tour, and when I was living in Toronto one day. She was a fan, and she came up to me, and we just obviously lived in the same neighborhood, and she said, "It must be an incredible commitment that you're making to do this." And no one had really ever said that to me. It kind of knocked me off my feet a little bit, because I think I just thought that I was expected to do this if I had the opportunity. But really, all the birthdays of my friends and family that I missed, all the things at home I missed, I always wanted a garden and a dog, and those are just really normal life things, depending on your preferences,
Sure.
That I didn't do. I couldn't even make an appointment because, my bag was packed, and so committing to something 3 weeks out was kind of an impossibility.
Yeah.
So, it's a little dramatic to say it almost killed me, but in the end, when I quit music, I did so after experiencing clinical depression, which for anyone who's been through a depressive period, emotional suffering, as I see it now, is probably one of the worst types of pain you can go through. And I just was not able to get out of it on my own. In the end, I needed some time to unpack things, and it happened because I was, there's this famous saying about when the body says no. Well, the body was saying, like, you're gonna have to go home and get a garden and a dog. So, that's the kind of stuff. Living out of a suitcase, and you're in some pretty yucky situations sometimes, and that's life, that's normal. But I think there was always in this thing, because I'm on stage and I'm supposed to put on a smile even when the day's been really hard. There's always this, like, today was not one of those days. I walked through the University of Kent.
Where I went to college at. Kent State University, yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful campus, and I had a nice walk in the woods, and but yeah, the stuff that almost killed me was not taking the time I needed, and feeling like I couldn't say no a lot of times.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, and thank you for acknowledging that. I'm just curious, but no, I mean,
You're
get
welcome.
it because. But
I'll send you my next therapy bill. I'll send that to you.
Well, tell me about your dog.
My dog.
Yeah. What kind of dog did you
Well, Matt and I both have dogs, which is one of the things that we also bonded on very quickly. I have a Labradoodle who is 12 now. I got her 11 and a half years ago.
Yeah.
And every day is a gift when you have a 12-year-old dog.
Yeah.
And leaving on tour is challenging, I won't lie. I miss her. I don't miss her the first 5 nights. I just have a great sleep. And then after that, I really miss my dog. So yeah, I have a golden, and I have good caretakers for those little creatures. I didn't have children, I had dogs. Which actually I realized, but I told my parents the other day, I said, if I had a 12-year-old kid, they'd be making their own dinner by now. And my dog, I still, have to do everything.
That's true. Well, something I read about this current tour, these concerts that you're doing, they're starting early and they're ending early for, I don't know, those of us of a certain age, perhaps. Yeah, we're about the same age. You're a year or two younger than me.
Yeah.
So that's a refreshing thing, right? Kind of?
Well, one of the things that I'm sick and tired of is all the rules about the way things should be and the way it's always been and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'd rather go on at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30 on a Wednesday night because Golden Girls is on at 10. And if I love doing that, and I'm looking forward to that, like wind down period, then surely everyone else is. Why do we have to have late shows? Like, that's not what I want to do, and I don't think that's what most people want to do. So let's just have an early show. And sometimes we have openers, and sometimes we don't, and on this tour we're not doing that.
Well,
actually, because Matt was my opener, and then I needed a bass player, and he was like, well, I'll play bass. I was like, well, then there's no opener. So he plays bass in the band, and we wrap up at 9:30. You are welcome.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, put the round of applause. And as someone who's a year older than you, but also goes to a lot of shows, I'll take that. Yeah, for sure. We have one more song, and this is from the new record. Kathleen Edwards joining us here for a Wayside Furniture Blinden Son Studio C session. What do you have for us next here?
Well, this is one of my favorite songs on the record. It was about it's about a beautiful friend of mine who went through, basically being canceled by a friend group. And, when one person can control a narrative, it really does an incredible thing to people living in the dark, and this is called When the Truth Comes Out. 1, 2. These days, the truth is a fleeting thing. It depends who you talk to. Most days you hide away, and you shouldn't have to. Back then when you walked in the room, everyone turned and noticed. Yeah, back then, back then everyone knew. He was lucky to have you well. Kings lose their crowns. Nobody wants to stick around. The truth comes out when on your side. Someone will be on your side. Will be.
Kathleen Edwards here at the Summit FM, another Wayside Furniture Linden Sun Studio C session. Lots of woos happening right now.
Does everyone go home with a lazy boy? Is that the sponsor?
If you'd like to satisfy our sponsors. Hey, I bought a mattress there a year ago, so I'm taking part in all of that. So I've done my part.
I recently sat in one of those massage chairs.
Yeah.
The ones that like squish your hands and your arm. I mean, it really gets the
Really gets in there.
buttocks,
Yeah.
as they say on the radio. I don't know if you can say the other A word,
I
but
just did.
buttocks.
Yeah.
And man, it's the most relaxed I've been in a week. So if they sell those, go get one.
Right down the road from us. Stop by. They're still open. I understand.
Sample it.
Sample it, sure. Right. I understand we have one final song, an impromptu cover that you've decided upon.
This is actually on the covers record, but it is a big it's a big week for Bruce Springsteen, and this was one of the songs that I covered on the project, and I thought what a beautiful time to do it, and Matt plays it so lovely with me, so we're going to do Human Touch. And it goes out to the dog walking around. What's his name?
Dexter is still in here
Dexter.
somewhere. Yeah.
Dexter, the Schnauzer
Westie.
Westie mix.
Yes. The Schnesty.
He really likes a human touch. I think he's actually a golden retriever dressed up as a different dog. Thanks, everybody. It's really lovely to play for you. You and me, we were the pretenders. We let it all slip away. In the end, why you don't surrender? Where the world just strips away. Ain't no kindness in the face of strangers. Ain't gonna find no miracles here. You can wait on your blessings, darling. I got a deal for you right here. I ain't looking for praise or pity. I ain't coming around searching for a crush. I just want someone to talk to and a little of a human touch. Ain't no mercy on the streets of this town. Ain't no bread from heavenly sky. Ain't nobody drawing on from this blood. It's just you and me tonight. Tell me, in a world without pity, do you think what I'm asking for is too much? I just want something to hold on to and a little of a human touch. Just a little of a human touch. I'm feeling the same to your cries. Whether it comes to the heart or it cries. You can't shut up the risk and the pain that I'm losing the love that remains. Now we're arms on this train, on this So you've been broken and you've been hurt. Show me somebody who ain't. Yeah, I know I'm nobody's bargain, but every little touch of been a little pain. You might need something to hold on to. All the answers don't amount to much. Somebody
not far from Bruce Springsteen World Headquarters, right?
That's right. I believe he's from Freehold, New Jersey.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Childhood home.
did he audition for the film or no?
Ooh, Matt?
Yeah.
He did, and in fact, he was almost cast, but as Stevie Van Zandt.
Yeah.
We worked on that gag ahead of time.
Yeah. It was a long walk for that one. And this was a lot of fun. Kathleen Edwards, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you to your station.
So great to have you here. And, we're seeing her in concert tomorrow night at the Kent Stage. One more round of applause for Kathleen Edwards.
Tomorrow night's show is a rock and roll show. It's a full band. It's a bit of a, put on small undies because they'll blow off otherwise. And it's an early show.
Yeah.
No opener.
Right.
And if your undies blow off, then you've had a great night.
I call it face rock, though. When you attach your face in the parking lot before driving home. Safety first. Thanks again, everyone. This is great. Very fun.